The night was cold, the air thick with an unspoken tension. Adrian Miller, a writer of worlds, both vivid and dark, sat alone in his dimly lit study. The rhythmic tapping of his fingers against the keyboard was the only sound, a steady metronome, marking the passage of time. The glow of the monitor cast long, flickering shadows on the walls, as if the room itself were alive, watching, waiting. Adrian was lost in his creation, a desolate earth, overrun by beings from beyond the veil of space. But as the words flowed from his mind to the screen, something shifted, something awakened. A knock, not from the door. No, this was different. It came from the window. Adrian's fingers froze mid-sentence. His office was on the second floor. Slowly, he turned, his breath catching in his throat. There, pressed against the glass, was a figure, a man, half shrouded in the fog of the night. His hand trembled as he raised it, leaving a dark smear on the window. Blood. Adrian's stomach churned. He knew that face. It was Jonas Raynor, the protagonist of his latest novel. The same hollow eyes, the same desperate expression, the same fatal wound slashed across his chest, exactly as Adrian had written it. Jonas's lips moved, his breath fogging the glass. "They are coming," he whispered, his voice barely audible. Adrian's pulse quickened. "Who?" he asked, his voice trembling. Jonas's eyes darted behind him into the swirling mist. The shadows there shifted, writhed, as if alive. And then, in a voice that seemed to echo from the depths of Adrian's own mind, Jonas uttered two words that shattered the writer's reality. The shadows. Adrian stumbled back, his chair scraping against the floor. The monitor flickered, the words on the screen seeming to pulse with a life of their own. The shadows in the room deepened, twisting into grotesque shapes, elongated limbs, jagged teeth, hollow eyes. The air grew colder, heavier, as if the very atmosphere were closing in. Jonas's voice came again, strained and urgent. "You brought us here. You opened the door. And now they're coming for you." The window shattered. Glass rained down as Jonas tumbled into the room, his body crumpling to the floor. Blood pooled beneath him, dark and viscous. Adrian's mind reeled. This was impossible. Jonas was fiction, a character, and yet here he was, bleeding, breathing, real. The shadows outside the window surged forward, their forms solidifying into monstrous, humanoid shapes. Their eyes glowed faintly, like embers in the dark, and their whispers filled the room, a chorus of voices that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. "We are the shadows," they hissed. "We are your creation." Adrian's instincts screamed at him to run, but the shadows were everywhere, cutting off his escape. Jonas struggled to his feet, clutching his chest. "You have to finish it," he gasped. "You have to end the story. It's the only way to stop them." Adrian's mind raced. Finish the story? How? He had no idea how to end this nightmare. But the shadows were closing in, their whispers growing louder, more insistent. He could feel their cold breath on his skin, their fingers brushing against his arms, pulling him into the darkness. With a surge of desperation, Adrian lunged for his desk, his fingers flying over the keyboard. The screen flickered, the cursor blinking tauntingly. "What do I write?" he muttered, his voice barely a whisper. Jonas's voice came again, weaker now. "Destroy them, but it has to be final. It has to be real." Adrian's hands trembled as he typed. Jonas raised the artifact, its light piercing the darkness. The shadows recoiled, their forms unraveling as the void consumed them. The room trembled. The shadows howled, their voices filled with rage and pain. Adrian kept typing, his words spilling onto the screen. With a final burst of light, the shadows were banished, their whispers fading into silence. The door was closed. The world was safe. The screen flickered, then went dark. The room fell silent. Adrian sat there, his chest heaving, his hands still trembling. The door was intact. The shadows were gone. Jonas was gone. But as he stared at the blank screen, a single line of text appeared, unbidden. The door is closed, but not forever. Adrian's blood ran cold. The screen flickered again, and the words shifted. We are still here. And then, from the shadows beneath his desk, a whisper. We are your creation. Adrian's breath caught in his throat. The screen went black, and the room plunged into darkness. The whispers began again, soft and insidious, growing louder with every passing second. He had closed the door, but the shadows had found another way in, and they were hungry.